Okay, this is Eric Siebenaler. I'm the designer of the toys for Transformers Animated.
I'm Derrick Wyatt. I'm art director on Transformers Animated.
I'm Matt Youngberg. I'm the supervising producer on Transformers Animated.
And Marty Isenberg, story editor, head writer on Transformers Animated. So let's talk about the main title that we're watching right now.
The main title is comprised of animation that was done by a studio called Studio 4C. Studio 4C is one of the premier animation companies in Japan, and they really did a fantastic job and knocked it out of the park doing this animation. And then we brought it back here and we composited it with a studio called 6 Point Harness, who put the flashy stuff on top of it.
Here's our first glimpse of Ironhide, animated.
Corey Burton providing the voice.
Yeah, very R. Lee Ermey. It's great. Very military.
And he's not dead. He comes back, but he blows up real good.
But there was a lot of fan speculation that he might be dead.
Yeah, he's a lot more resilient than he appears, though.
Marty, this is also the first time we see the Elite Guard, right?
No, this is the third in the trilogy. So this is the
this
first.
is the third. Okay.
Yeah, this is their first time on Earth, but it's the third episode that we've seen them. Just quick plug for our writer, Marcia Griffin, did a great job. Oh, there's Derrick's name.
I love it when the three of them stand in that triumvirate pose, Magnus and Sentinel and Jazz.
And it's always interesting, too, to think about how these characters were built up, and Optimus and Sentinel really don't get along, and it's just a fun character play against each other. Like, they're both good guys, but they don't get along at all.
And there was a lot of question back and forth originally of who that rival of Optimus was going to be. I remember at one point we thought it might be Rodimus.
Right.
And we went back and forth even between whether Ultra Magnus would be the supreme leader and Sentinel would be the rival, or the other way around.
Yeah, and I remember that was a point where Hasbro came back and we were like, we didn't feel comfy making Rodimus almost like a borderline bad guy.
Which is great because it gave us liberty to make Sentinel as just unlikable as possible.
Yeah, he may not have been that extreme if it was Rodimus.
And I mean, it's got to be said for Townsend Coleman, who is the voice of Sentinel, just how amazing he is at that. And the interplay, the times we sit down in the recording sessions and we have Optimus Prime and Sentinel Prime and they play off of each other, it's the funnest time. We always laugh hard.
Yeah, David Kaye, the voice of Optimus, and Townsend really play very nicely off of each other. And this was actually the episode just before this, The Return of the Headmaster, was the first episode where we really got to see that dynamic between the two of them. And I think Townsend really got into the role by about this point.
Megatron and the Allspark.
Love him just hanging off of Prime like that. Come on, buddy.
Reinstated in the Elite Guard. That sounds.
You just get that tone of disdain in his voice too.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
He acts like a friend, but he wants to stab him in the back any opportunity he gets.
He's the worst kind of friend.
Important than protecting the truth. Then you leave me no choice. Optimus Prime, I am placing you in protective custody until our departure from Earth.
Uh-oh.
Oh, noes.
I'm not gonna have to use the stasis cuffs on.
So clearly Sentinel has this always kind of authoritarian type presence. It's all about him. It's all about how he wants to do it.
Oh, the undead Starscream.
This was one of our favorite ideas when we were, breaking the story about how to bring Starscream back from his death, and it was a great idea to make him basically undead. He's a zombie, or maybe not a zombie, he's immortal. He just can't be killed.
And of course, what that led to very early on in the story breaking process is that he could be killed over and over and over. As you'll see later in the episode.
Oh my gosh, they killed Starscream.
Yeah, he becomes the Kenny type in this episode.
And speaking of Kenny, it's Tom Kenny doing the voice, who is unbelievable in every recording session. Just when you think you can't take Starscream any further, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Tom was voted most likely to improvise in any given recording session.
Yeah, how many lines do you think have been rewritten by Tom's improvisations?
Probably more than any other actor, but usually he comes up with something better anyway.
He is really good.
And here he comes also as Isaac Sumdac.
I love him keeping Sumdac in the little box too, the little energy cage. It's like a little pet.
What is possible?
And I won't have to...
Well, it was a good way to play off the first season where basically Megatron was trapped by Sumdac. So to switch it up brought a really fun thing to this season.
Their interaction is always really fun too. Yeah.
Great, just great voice work by Corey Burt.
Then it's fortunate we do not have to...
Definitely a very, very menacing Megatron.
Marty, do you think Sumdac probably has this like awe and fear of Megatron at the same time?
I think so. I think he's just, the scientist in him is still really impressed by what goes into the mechanics of this big giant robot. So, yeah.
We need a human we can trust.
Bumper Robinson as Bumblebee and Fanzone in a bathrobe, designed by Breandrew Hart.
He is one of my favorite characters in the show. He just, every time he's on screen, is fun. I love him.
We did think about giving him bunny slippers, but we decided against it.
So he's just barefoot or just...
Yeah, he's just barefoot.
He's a tough guy. He don't need no slippers.
I want to see Fanzone's wife someday.
We do refer to her.
Yeah, we've referred to her a few times. But
Get your career back on track.
And there are the famous chins that everybody is so amazed by.
they're beautiful.
Great shot of them.
Well, what we didn't tell people is that chin is actually a form of rank in the army.
The bigger your chin is, the higher up you go.
Ultra Magnus goes back to his little computer game or whatever he's doing.
Decepticons on Earth.
And there we have Bulkhead, or no, Lugnut and Blitzwing
Another
kind of sneaking up on the Autobots right there because they, at the beginning of the episode, they found a way to disguise their signature pattern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the signal dampeners. They are always really fun to pair together, too. They always interact really well. And Bumper Robinson and David Kay. Uh-oh.
Sneaky Starscream.
So was the design there a little bit of an homage to the 80s show with the mountain? Or was that purely
I think that
coincidental?
was, yeah, there's an accident. Those are the famous Detroit mountain range.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we take a lot of liberties on geography in this show.
It's the future.
Yeah, in the future they've done all kinds of terraforming.
And that is what I tell people.
You're alive.
Oh, it's like a family reunion.
Well, maybe you have.
I love this section. The animation is just, it was so impressive when we got it back. This episode was animated by a studio called Mook Animation in Japan,
Actually believe.
and they just did an outstanding job through both seasons. They really understand the show, and they really love the Transformers, and you can tell by how much work they put into a show.
I love that classic G1 Megatron cannon blast noise.
Mm-hmm.
This is also great. It just shows you how powerful Megatron is. And Starscream really has no chance against him.
But he won't give up.
Dump that piece of traitorous garbage where it belongs.
And then we saved a little money on animation using this shot over and over again.
It's
Right?
animated so well. I look Lugnut. It almost looks like he's hanging his head a little bit.
He's a little sad.
I think we need to go back and make another version of Starscream where he has that.
Oh, where he has the
spark.
the all-spark fragment in his head.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the toy, right?
Yeah, making the toy.
That would be awesome.
Or maybe something else is keeping me online.
There's the ugly duckling moment.
Which makes little old Starscream immortal.
Oh, so devious.
And it's amazing that he gets it right away.
Vengeance will be
He's very clever.
Doesn't quite get that he can't beat Megatron, but
Yeah. Some things he doesn't get very well, but others he's spot on.
Right on top of them.
this season 2 Decepticon headquarters is so cool in this purple mine. I really like how it looks with the green glowing cage and the purple mines.
Who was their decorator?
I think I don't know.
I think that was Derrick Wyatt.
Exiled from our true home.
Rodell and Chewie.
Decepticons, united by a common purpose.
I love the way that the monologue from Megatron is totally about uniting the Decepticons. Is totally contrast with the action that we see with Starscream trying to kill him over and over again. And shortly after this episode aired, somebody on YouTube managed to put all this footage together and use the Benny Hill theme. It was very funny.
And again, there's that animation.
That great shot that we use over
Reuse.
This is a nice shot of Megatron scheming over the city, too. Just staring at Detroit.
Look at that. Megatron can catch pretty well.
Yeah.
Man,
He could have played for the Tigers.
The
The
Tigatrons.
The Tigatrons.
come on.
It was like he can catch like a ninja. Like he didn't even have to look. He's like the last dragon.
I think I need another approach. Away or that egotistical trash can out into the open. Catching
Oh, Starscream, don't you realize your plans will never work?
No, and that's why he's so much fun to write.
Yeah. He's kind of like the Wile E. Coyote type character.
Oh, very much so.
Now, which character would that be if it came to life? That snowplow truck.
Snowplow?
It
Plow.
would be Sentinel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe. Sentinel scanned that thing.
It'd be Frostbite.
Phil Lamar as Jazz does a great job.
Jazz being my favorite of all Transformers characters, he is appropriately awesome in this series.
That's right.
Very
I
smooth.
remember early on we were having a discussion, like creating a wish list for season 2, and that he was at the top of your list.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the very top.
And I'm stuck playing nursemaid to an
That wasn't a hard sell.
No.
I've been wanting to make a new toy of him for a while.
And I love what we did with it is we kind of made him the retro cop car kind of,
he was able to detect.
I don't know, he's just a little hot rod, smooth, cool, fits in perfectly with the jazz demeanor.
Yeah, definitely
we
old
wanted
school.
something classically inspired, but still cool by today's standards of cars and design.
Yeah.
And we continue that in his dialogue, where he's very retro cruel. It's real beatnik kind of dialogue.
Do it for you.
I remember one of Derrick's early character or head designs for it. He had the
The soul patch.
Oh, yeah.
patch on
He
his
did have
The
a little soul
beatnik,
patch.
the beatnik patch, yeah.
Oh, and coming up
That
is
scream is the best. That Sentinel scream. Love to make Townsend scream. That's great, too.
Stasis Cuffs became one of our greatest tools in Transformers Animated. You'll see them over and over again and always used.
Into season 3, I think.
They became very handy. Yeah.
Yep.
This is great.
Oh, this is really great.
I love this scene.
What?
It's an amazing drawing of Fanzone.
I also
He's just such a big meathead.
and we should talk about my allowance because I'm gonna need a big.
Kids.
And lawyers and machines. I think everybody answers their phone at once.
Walking into a Decepticon trap.
Why is this our problem? The Elite Guard has done nothing but bust our solenoids.
So are they actually talking through their fingers, or are they pressing the button on
No,
the...
they have a little button on the side.
They have they have a button that it's completely flush with the helmet, so you can't see it.
But sometimes it comes through their symbol too, doesn't it? Or did
Sometimes
did we
it
That was
Yeah.
earlier on, I think. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did that in season 1. We hadn't quite figured it out. There's that one cool one, too, where Optimus's antenna extends.
To my emergency call.
Oh yeah, when he's listening in. He's using a
Oh, right. The staging on this turned out really nice, I thought.
Yeah, this is a really, really nicely animated sequence.
I was a little afraid when we handed you the script that this was going to be way too complicated,
And it was.
but they did it.
but they pulled it off.
those on that
Yeah, this is probably really where Mook hit their stride, and they were really, really just giving us amazing. Like, look at that. That's just awesome looking.
Yeah, perfect drawings.
Spike and all spark energy appears to be emanating from that train.
It's fortunate we picked up that signal so easily.
And that shot through the cockpit.
That's
really
beautiful.
cool.
On this show, we've given the Japanese studios a lot of leeway to kind of come up with their own systems of doing things and their own designs of a few things here and there, and I think Mook feels that freedom and really delivers on the show because it's they're invested in it. They want it to be good.
Wasn't one of the passengers the guy who picks on Ratchet in the next episode?
Oh, it might be, yeah.
Just noticed that.
Big hammer.
The hammer. Yeah, and the hammer looks even cooler in this episode than it did in the first episode he used it.
I will destroy all my enemies at once!
Yeah, in the toy, I'm still trying to work on that the lightning coming down from the sky feature.
When you figure it out, I want one.
His own mini Tesla coil or something.
Yeah. It's an ongoing science project.
More Autobots taking the bait? Where is Megatron?
Prowl! Uncouple the passenger cars and get the humans away from danger. Bumblebee, sorry. Try to use the key.
This is a nice sequence where we really got to see our 5 heroes work as a team, and everybody has something specific to do.
Engine down.
That's one of the developmental things that we've been working on the whole time. Is like taking Optimus from being the unintentional leader, and then having the crew be dysfunctional as a point, and then over time they get better at working together.
Yeah, and that really played out over season 1, and now you really see them functioning as a team really well together.
Yeah, and a lot of structurally what we wanted to do with these Elite Guard episodes was to show that how they've grown as a team and how they're outclassing the people who are supposed to be their superiors.
Bumblebee was very happy about that.
Yay! Enter Ratchet and Bulkhead.
Bulkhead gets a cool moment there.
Bulkhead gets a lot of cool moments.
No! This can't be happening!
Now that's what I call...
Something to talk about here is we originally when this episode came back from the animators, it was about 4 minutes over or so, and so we ended up having to cut scenes. And there's a whole scene in the sky where Starscream and Megatron have a kind of it's like they're making a deal,
right?
But then Megatron again just blows him away.
Yeah, Megatron is saying, "Why waste time fighting each other? We can work together." And then Starscream kind of gets into the finer details of, well, which part of Cybertron do I get?
Yeah, they were trying to divvy up Cybertron, but Megatron was just using it as a chance to get close and blow him away again. So instead, we just cut to them chasing each other, and then we cut away.
Of course, everyone now is going to wonder why that's not on the DVD package.
Because I told you about it. You don't need to see it.
That's right. It's
Deleted scenes.
that's right.
The deleted scenes will be me talking about the scenes that we deleted.
They were deleted from the DVD.
Do flip charts of storyboards and whatnot, right?
So apparently Decepticons do just fall from the sky.
And they don't land on their feet like cats.
What is that thing?
Oh, that's right. You've never seen one up close. It's called a Decepticon.
The Elite Guard's reaction to the Decepticon is really cool. It's just so... I love that Kirby hand, too. Like,
Yeah, Ultra Magnus is the only one in their crew to actually have been through the Great Wars.
Right. And as you can see, he's a little rusty.
His reaction time is off.
Just a little bit.
Well,
And I just laugh. Starscream walks away. Couldn't care less about it.
Boom.
Cold cocked.
you got to give Ultra Magnus the benefit of the doubt. I mean, come on, he's like millions of years old.
That looks familiar.
Don't cross the streams.
Again, the nice original G1 sound for Starscream's blasters.
Ultra Magnus is down and the Decepticon is getting away. What's our next move, Sentinel?
Right.
Sentinel's command prowess.
Bumblebee, Prowl, Bulkhead, and Fenzone, evacuate the humans.
Fanzone's part of the team. It's awesome.
As well, he should be, I think.
Exactly.
No, the fan zone is more effectual in this situation than the Sentinel.
Some bot has to.
Hey, how about we sort out the whole head honcho deal later? Right now, we need to stop.
Jazz always keeping the level head.
Big.
Do you think he's listening to music through his headphones like, the whole time?
Constantly.
Yeah, he's got some Miles Davis going on in
That's what I
there.
was thinking.
It's the first thing he did when he got to Earth.
Downloaded all the MP3s.
Yep.
Legally, of course. The Sentinel shield.
Yeah, his powers turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
How did we start them off? We kind of likened them to be Green Lantern, but then we pared it down.
Yeah,
just to
kinda.
get the shield.
So, well, he still the shield still changes shapes and it has spikes and.
Yeah, it can get bigger and smaller, and he has a lance as well. Kind of played up the aspect of being a knight, kind of. And in one episode, we actually use his mask that comes down. And he's just like an old knight.
I think that's Return of the Headmaster.
Yeah.
Run that one out any longer? You're welcome, Sentinel.
The mouth clamp. I love that.
I think when we wrote this, we had no idea how they were going to move Starscream, so they came up with a very good solution.
It's great to see, you can actually see the scale between the characters there, because you don't get a lot of the scale with the Decepticons are massive compared to the Autobots.
Yeah, they're supposed to definitely have that.
I just love Jazz's pose.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree, Optimus Prime?
I think he does.
But he's, of course, too humble to say anything.
You and your crew remain here on Earth to search for more Allspark fragments. And keep them from falling into the hands of any other Decepticons that may still...
The Allspark container was too good to stop using.
Stasis cuffs for the job.
And there's your stasis cuffs.
Yep, more cuffs.
And they get used.
I think it's very interesting that the Elite Guard flagship is very similar in the front to the Autobot ship, which becomes a Mega Supreme.
What are you saying, Derrick?
Nothing. Just saying it's really neat, really interesting.
It was an intentional design choice, maybe?
Of course.
Send out a transmission to our double agent on Cybertron.
Now, who could that be?
Our rebel forces has been restored, and the Autobot space bridge technology is within.
And if you want to find that answer, you watch the episode Auto Boot Camp.
That's right.
Continue to draw the Autobot forces away from Cybertron, leaving it virtually defenseless.
I just love to hear Megatron make speeches. So good. So devious.
His voice just resonates, and you really want to listen to what he's saying.
Yeah.
As we talk over him.
And here's a bunch of people that work on the show.
Including the people who are talking to you right now.
So, there you go.
Our wonderful cast. And of course, Sue Blue, our incredible voice director.
Who was originally a voice in the original Transformers. She was RC, and she reprises her role in our show as well.
And she's directed Beast Wars, Beast Machines, probably a few other Transformers series that I don't even know about. She's probably been involved with more Transformers series than anyone else.
Yeah,
She's a
than
pro.
any of us.
I really enjoyed sitting in some of those sessions and listening to how she works with everybody.
All right, thanks for watching.